is the controller we've all been waiting for, the ultimate hybrid. What's up, bro? So a few hours ago I posted my video on the leaked RANE 1 DJ controller, and I got a ton of comments from you guys, and I figured in this video we sit down and address some of those comments, as well as potentially talk about some other controllers that we could possibly see at this year's virtual NAMM show. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out. It's listed up in the card above as well as in the description of this video. So let's address some of the points that you guys had. You guys had a ton of great points and a couple of not so great points. So one of the first things that you guys pointed out that you guys disagree with, and I think you guys are probably right about this, but this does create a couple of conflicts. You guys said that you guys don't think this is going to be a plastic controller. I think this is going to be a combination of both metal and plastic. The motors is really what's throwing me off, because if it's got these motors and it's an all metal build, it's going to be one heavy ass controller, and additionally this is going to jack up the price. When I made my video, I compared it to the NS7, and the NS7 was a very heavy controller, and something that I didn't know just because I never looked into the price of that thing. The street price of the NS7 was supposedly 1,300 bucks. The retail price was 1,600. So if RANE puts out the RANE 1 at a price higher than 1,300, I think it's gonna be a tough sell. I keep bringing up the DDJ 1000 because I think that's such a great deal for what you get. It's a 4-channel mixer. You get all the inputs and outputs that you'll ever need. At 1,300 bucks, that is a great deal. In my fair opinion, I stand by my belief that a good price, if they want to sell a ton of these, which they're going to sell a ton of these regardless, in my opinion, a fair price for something such as this would be between 800 and 1,200 bucks. So I want to pass off the question to you guys. Based on the leaks that we've seen, based on the images that we've seen of the RANE 1, would you guys pay more than 1,300 bucks for a controller such as that? I know a lot of guys are going crazy for it. I'm getting a ton of comments of you guys saying that you guys want it, but I'm just wondering how much of you guys willing to pay for it. Let me know down in those comments below. Now, another point of contention with my video was the platter size. I mentioned that I thought it was going to be about a 7-inch platter. I kept comparing it to the NS7. The NS7 has 7-inch platters. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, why do you keep comparing it to the NS7? They're different companies, but yes and no. You see, the umbrella company actually owns Newmark, RANE, and Denon. So those three companies are actually one company. So they cover all their bases. They have something for the scratch guys, the purist guys. They have something for the everyday DJ with the Denon and, you know, the touring DJs. And then they have an entry-level budget line in Newmark. And what I'm assuming they're doing is that they're organizing the NS7, originally a Newmark controller. That's going to go over to RANE because RANE could do a little bit more than that. So it only makes sense that Newmark would hand off the blueprints to the NS7 so that RANE can improve and really bring it to a better market, because just the prestige that RANE has is a little bit better than the prestige that the Newmark has. I digress though. I went on a little tangent there. The reason why I think it's going to be a 7-inch platter is because if they do something like a 10-inch, a lot of you guys said that you guys think it's going to be a 10-inch platter. This is going to be a really big controller. 10 inches is a lot, and a bigger controller also means a more expensive controller because it's going to take more materials to build. It's going to be a bigger box that they have to ship, so automatically just the price starts going up and up and up. If we go down that rabbit hole of thinking that this controller is going to be between $1,500 and $2,000, then there's a couple of things that RANE is going to have to do to justify that price point, because that is a steep price point, and there's some things that I don't think this mixer is going to have. I don't think it's going to have 2 computer inputs like the DDJ 1000 has. Additionally, the inputs and outputs, I'm assuming that the RANE 1 is going to have similar inputs and outputs to that of the SR2. At 700 bucks, the SR2 gave us pretty much every input and output that we needed, and I'm hoping that we see the same from this RANE controller. Now, the last and final point of contention that kind of bugged me a little bit, because I just kind of rolled my eyes at everybody that was commenting this. Everybody was like, oh, the empty space in the middle is because it's for turntables, and turntable guys love having a ton of space. That's not really what I meant by that empty space in the middle. Here's what I mean. So if you take a look, here is the best image that I found, and I'm just gonna pull up Photoshop and just kind of show you guys kind of what I mean as far as the aesthetics go. So let me just make this so that it makes a little bit more sense and move this over to the side, right about there. That's about right. Here is what this thing is gonna look like. I just photoshopped it to make it look right. By the way, some of you guys were saying that I tricked you guys, that you guys thought I had it and that you guys thought I was the leaker. I'm not the leaker. I just did some basic 101 Photoshop. So this was my thumbnail and this was the original image, and it looks like I'm holding the box, but actually if we remove the box, you can see I was actually holding a Hercules box, and then I just masked it out and pretty much input the box that was leaked. If we zoom in on my finger, you can kind of see that it's Photoshop. So this looks natural, and then this doesn't look so natural. See that? But once you zoom out, you can't tell. It's super easy Photoshop. Basic 101 Photoshop, guys. Back to my point on the RANE 1. So my argument is that this is super close. There's a bunch of dead air here. They could have moved these LED strips down here. It would have looked way better just from an aesthetics purpose. Yes, I know that you want that breathing room, but look at how close this is to that. This is to this. So here's what I personally would have done. Let's go ahead and copy this. Go ahead and put a Q point here and a Q point there, zoom out, and that's all I'm asking for. Is it too much to ask for something like this versus this? See all this blank empty space here that looks like it's just a blank void? A lot of you guys said it looks like a cup holder, but that was my whole argument. You could have easily added some LED indicators, made it look like this, gave it a little bit more breathing room between deck 2, deck 1, and it looks, in my opinion, just a little better. You could have got rid of this here and moved it down here. Just in my opinion though, it was just an aesthetics point. I don't get why you guys get so triggered over little things like that. I hate the internet. Now, as far as the back goes of this controller, I'm pretty confident that it would look something like the SR2, or at least this is what I want. So let's go ahead and delete this. It looks a little bit more streamlined. Bring this up. Boom, this is what I would have liked this controller to look like, or this is what I hope it could still look like this. Like, obviously not this. There's no way we're gonna get this LED screen because they just left that blank void there. Inputs and outputs, we definitely need some of these. Some of you guys are saying that you guys think this is gonna be 1,500 bucks. If it's 1,500 bucks, definitely need these auxiliaries. If it's 800 bucks, I'm okay with them getting rid of any auxiliary inputs. But as far as master, we definitely need a booth, and we definitely need XLRs. I hope they don't pull a Pioneer on us and only give us RCA, because that would be some BS. With the mic, I'm not expecting much. I doubt we'll get XLR. I'm assuming just a 1/4 inch input. I could be wrong. Maybe they give us an XLR. That would be awesome. I'm pretty sure that we'll only get one computer input. That's pretty standard across the board. And then DC input, maybe they give us IEC. I would like to see IEC as opposed to DC in. I think IEC would be the move. And there you have it. That's what I think we'll get as far as the RANE 1. This is what, in my opinion, should have looked like, and that's what I meant about the aesthetics of it. Just fix that, and I think you have a really awesome controller. Now let's talk about the controller that I personally want to see. This is like free R&D for any manufacturer that wants to put this thing together. I'm gonna base it on Pioneer. Maybe Pioneer surprises us with something like this. This is what I kind of been wanting, and hopefully we get something like it. My base for this controller is gonna be the SZ, just because there are some things on the decks that I like better than the DDJ 1000, so that's why it's gonna be my starting point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this here, and I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Now I'm gonna take an S9, and with the S9, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of shrink it a little bit. See, we don't really need the performance pads because our controller will already have the performance pads, so I'll go ahead and get rid of this. This looks so funny. I'm gonna go ahead and try this with the S11 just because I don't like the way it kind of looks a little chubby there. Yeah, this looks a lot better. I'd be okay without the screen, but this is just kind of the idea of kind of what I would like to see in a DJ controller. Now, something else that I would like to see with the controller like this is I would like to see the jog wheels found on CDJs or the jog wheels found here on our DDJ 1000. This is so weird looking because this thing is chubby. So I wasn't happy with this just because there was a lot of space here on the sides and I thought it looked a little bit weird. So I went ahead and I created another little mixer. My first attempt. It looked a little chubby, it looked a little bit weird, so I went ahead and made this one. This looks like a legit controller. This is it. This is the controller we've all been waiting for, the ultimate hybrid SZ DDJ 1000 SR and S9 all combined into one. If they went ahead and made a controller such as this, I would be a day one adopter of this controller. So let me run it down and show you guys why I created this monstrosity, this Frankenstein controller. So starting with the S9 portion, I really wanted an S9 mixer because I think 2 channels is perfect for what most DJs use. Maybe if there was just a little bit more breathing room, I would like. I know it's a little bit tight, but you guys get the idea. I love the way you launch effects on the S9, so I definitely needed these paddles on top of my faders. I think it just looks so good. And then we take a look at our layout. It's actually the layout of an SZ, but I would like this to be about the size of a DDJ 1000. And the reason I went with the layout of an SZ is because the looping section. The looping section on DDJ 1000 wasn't my favorite, and I think this is just a way better looping section. However, the jog wheels on the DDJ 1000, you just can't beat. They are so good. As far as the rear, I would want the exact same inputs and outputs that are currently found on the DDJ 1000. So let's go ahead and add that. This is what I would like it to be as far as the rear goes. Obviously, it'd be a 2-channel mixer, and I'd even be okay giving up one of the USB inputs, but definitely got to keep the microphone. Mobile DJs are always on the bottom of the totem pole. It always goes touring DJs, festival DJs, club DJs right after that, and then bottom of the totem pole, the bastard stepchild of DJing is always mobile DJing. That's why we never get good preamps on the microphones, and I really would like a good microphone on a controller such as this. This is my dream controller. This is what I would like to see in a controller. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. The only thing that I would change from this controller here is a little bit more breathing room here on this mixer. Obviously, I just took the SR and just kind of superimposed it. But this is it. This is what I would like to see. Let me know your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys would like to see in a controller yourself. And let me know what you guys would title a controller such as this. I think this is a controller that a lot of people have been waiting for. Just in my fair opinion, if we got something like this, I think it would absolutely crush it in sales. Bros, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and don't forget to turn on that bell so that you can be notified next time we have some breaking DJ gear news. Signing off, DJ Barr. Stay awesome, bros. Peace.